All right, let's get right into it. We're going to talk about this hidden battle that's happening inside your brain every single time you think about money or success or even just your financial future. It's a conflict you've probably felt, but maybe didn't fully understand what was going on. You know that feeling, right? Or maybe it's that surge of anxiety when you see a neighbor's fancy new car or a big home renovation. That feeling, that immediate gut-level reaction, that's what this whole explainer's really about. It's not just you being envious. It's your brain running a program that's ancient. And that's exactly what neuroscientist Dr. Sydney Suderuto is talking about here. She says you're experiencing your brain's scarcity programming in action. So this isn't some character flaw you have. Nope. It's a predictable, hardwired neurological process. And the best part? Once you actually understand the program, you can learn how to rewrite it. So what is actually going on inside your head? Well, that feeling is the direct result of a showdown between two very different and often competing parts of your brain. One is old school and reactive, and the other is modern and, strategic. This slide just lays it out perfectly. On one side, you've got your amygdala, your ancient alarm system. It's fast, it's emotional, and it's all about survival. It evolved back when resources were genuinely limited, so it sees a colleague's success as a direct threat to your own survival. But then, on the other side, you've got the prefrontal cortex, the forward-thinking CEO of your brain. It's trying to be slow, rational, and make long-term plans. The problem? The alarm system is way, way faster. And the chemical that's fueling this whole battle? It's dopamine. Now, a lot of people think of dopamine as the pleasure molecule, but it's much more accurate to call it the motivation molecule. It's released based on what your brain thinks is possible, and it drives you to either protect what you've got or go chase new opportunities. And that right there is dopamine's dual role. See, when you're in scarcity mode, it rewards you for preventing loss, which creates this nasty cycle of anxiety and defensive behavior. But when you're in abundance mode, that very same chemical rewards you for exploring, for collaborating, for seeing new possibilities. It's the same fuel, just taking you to two totally different destinations. Okay, so how does this ancient brain battle and all its chemical fuel actually play out in real life? Well, they create what neuroscientists call the scarcity trap, a set of neural patterns that can seriously shape our financial decisions for the worse. And this table just breaks it all down. These aren't just, attitudes, they are distinct neural patterns wired into your brain. A scarcity brain is constantly scanning for threats, and it operates on this zero-sum belief. For me to win, someone else has to lose. An abundance brain, though, which is regulated by that prefrontal cortex, sees other people's success as data, as an expansion of what's possible for absolutely everyone. The real danger of this scarcity trap is that it makes us super vulnerable to cognitive biases. And what are those? They're basically systematic errors in our thinking. Because our brain is so busy looking for threats, it starts taking these mental shortcuts that feel right, but are often deeply irrational. A classic example is confirmation bias. Let's say you believe a certain stock is a surefire winner. A scarcity mindset will literally make you seek out only the good news about it, and it'll filter out all the red flags. You're not looking for the truth anymore. You're just looking for validation for what you already believe. And then there's anchoring bias. So imagine you bought a stock at $100. Even if the company's fundamentals completely collapse and now it's only worth $10, your brain gets anchored to that initial $100 price. And that anchor prevents you from making a rational decision to sell and move on. Okay, so that was the problem. It sounds a little bleak, right? But here's the really empowering part. You are not stuck with this programming, not at all. Thanks to this incredible property of the brain, you can actively change these patterns. And the science behind it all is this amazing concept called neuroplasticity. And I want to be clear, this isn't just some hopeful, feel-good idea. It is a biological fact. Your brain is not a fixed circuit board. Every single time you have a thought or perform an action, you're strengthening some neural connections and you're weakening others. You are literally rewiring your financial mindset every single day. So how do you actually do it? Well, it boils down to this simple 3-step process. First, you have to recognize the moment that old scarcity program kicks in, that feeling of anxiety or envy or fear. Second, you interrupt it. Take a deep breath, get up and go for a walk, do anything to just break that automatic loop. And third, you consciously install a new response. Ask yourself, okay, what's the opportunity here? Or how can this other person's success actually inspire me? And you can reinforce this new wiring with some daily habits. Things like practicing gratitude. That physically shifts your brain's focus away from threats. visualizing your future successful self. That makes your goals feel more achievable to your brain's dopamine system. And curating your environment, that's a big one. Unfollowing the fear-mongering news, following smart educators, it's like changing the data that your brain gets fed every single day. This brings us to what might be the most important takeaway from this entire thing. The knowledge of how your brain works, that's the key. That's what gives you control. And this is really the most important idea of all. You are not a victim of your brain's ancient wiring. Learning about the amygdala and the prefrontal cortex and dopamine, it isn't just interesting trivia. It's the user manual for your own brain. It gives you the power to debug your own system and install a major upgrade. So, the ultimate question is this. Right now, your brain is running a program about money and wealth and success that was probably written decades, if not centuries ago. But now that you have the instruction manual, are you ready to become the programmer and write some brand new code?